Okay, hello everyone. You're all welcome to today's session. Today I'm basically going to focus on the News2 chat, okay? If you've watched my previous videos, you realize that in the assessment station, when you check the patient's vital signs, you would have to document it on a chart. And in your UK OSCE exam as an international nurse or as a nurse, you will be recording that on the News2 chat. And this right here is the News2 chat, okay? And this paper will be provided during your your exam day, okay? So you don't need to worry about that. But for practice purposes, I would just advise that you download a copy from online and then practice with it so that you get used to the document before your test day. All right. So for today, I'm just going to base my scenario on scenario one. Okay, I'll be filling the scenario on this chart so you have an idea how it is done. I assumed wrongly. I posted a video just before this particular one, and I titled it News2 test, news score test. And I received a lot of DM that most people actually do not know how to find their way around it. I assume that most of you know it, so I just thought I could test you on it. But because of the number of DMs, I feel like I just want to let you know how it's done correctly. Okay, so let's just get right into it. So the focus should not be just filling it. There are details here like full name, date of birth, date of admission. You can literally be asked to go back to reset this paper just because you forgot to write these things, date and time and all of that. Okay, so just start from the top and work your way down. All right. So today I'm going to assume that the patient's name is Joseph Jones. Let's take it like that. Joseph Jones. So the full name is Joseph Jones. Okay? I hope it's clear enough, all right? And Joseph Jones's date of birth, let's assume is 0101 1954. Okay? And Joseph's date of admission. So this date of admission, you will see it on your question paper. So just have a look and know when the patient was admitted. You put that date of admission here. Let's assume the patient was admitted on 20th of June 2024. Okay, so this is the date of admission. Is that okay? Perfect. You finished the first part of it. Now I would say that focus. You see, if you are looking at it clearly, there's this session is literally the same as this session. Okay, for your exam purposes, don't start documenting your stuff from here. Always use this set of this area. Okay, it's the same thing. If you pay attention, it's like a mirror of each other. See all of these values, you see the same thing here, and you'll be recording this way. But I'm saying that for your purpose of your OSCE, focus only on this area of your paper. Please, I hope you understand. All right, good. Now this date here, you have to fill it, and this date will be on your question paper. Usually they will write assume your date is today. Okay, so it means you are going to write your test day. That day, if they write assume your date is today, on your paper you write the date you are taking the test. That will be the date here. So I will advise that if you have your exam booked and you know the date, okay, in all your practice where they will put a date there, start practicing with your test day. So for instance, if I know my exam is booked on say 10th September, all my practice, not just the News2 chat, all my practice, anything that has to will require of me to put dates there, start practicing by using that test day so that you get used to putting that date dates there. Do you understand what I mean? I did that for my when I was going to write my exam, and it helped a lot. So literally everything was just flowing because I'm used to, writing them. So let's assume the date is, say, 10th September. So you're only going to write the day and the month, and you have to write it small enough to fill the space. So 10 9, okay, is there. 10 9. All right, good. And the time too, it will also be on your question paper. Maybe assume the time is, say, 10:00. You write the time over there. Make sure you write small enough to capture it. 10:00. Okay, good. You have done this side, so you are okay with that. Now you are ready to input your values. I'm saying today we are just focusing on scenario 1. So respiration, the patient's respiration is what? 16 cycles per minute. All right, so 16 cycles per minute. Have a look. This area is your respiration. Please, documentation on your news chart is very, very important. If you document wrongly, you might have done a good assessment, but because you are documenting the right thing, the wrong place, you will go back for that paper. Please pay attention when you are documenting so you get it right. Now, respiration is 16 cycles per minute. Now, they have written the values in ranges, okay? So where does 16 cycle per minute fall? 16 cycle per minute falls here between 15 and 17, okay? So I'll write, don't put dot, write the value in the box. So if respiration is 16 cycle per minute, I'm not going to put a dot here. I'm going to write 16 within this box, okay? So respiration is 16. Okay? Write it in the box where it falls. I hope you all understand it. Good. Now, the next one is your what? Your SpO2, which is the same as the oxygen level or the saturation level. Okay? So what you do is that this is where most people go back because of this news chat. Please, I hope it's clear enough for you to see that there is SpO2 scale 1 and there is SpO2 scale 2. Can you all see that? Okay? Please, in your exam, they will not give you any patient or any values, or you are not going to get any values that will make you record on scale 2. I repeat, you are only going to write your saturation level only in scale 1. So within these boxes, this 91, this one, this is the area you are going to record your saturation. Never write your saturation anywhere around this box, because scale 2 is for patients whose target saturation is between 88 and 92%, and is usually for people with hypercapnic respiratory failure, like those with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, those with COPD and the rest. And in your Osce, you will only be tested around here, scale 1. Out of pressure, some people can go and write their saturation within this box. You wrote the right thing in the wrong place, you will resit the paper. Please pay attention to this one. Good. I hope that has gone down deep. Yeah. So saturation is 94. So we are focusing on scale 1. So where is 94? 94 is between 94 and 95, this range. So I'll put 94 in this box. Okay. So 94 will be here. Good. 94 is there. All right. Now let's move on. Now they said that the patient is on what? Room air. So we are here. They are asking whether the patient is on air or oxygen. And we see air, oxygen in the device. So now my patient is on room air. So all you put is A, because they've even written it here. A is the same as air. So you write what? A. Assuming your patient was on oxygen, you are going to write the oxygen here and then as in the oxygen flow rate here, and then the device the patient is using, whether nasal prongs or whatever. But usually, to be honest with you, in your OSCE, hardly will you have a patient on oxygen delivery device or something. But I mean, just for teaching purposes, if you have a patient on oxygen, you're going to put the oxygen flow rate here, and the device, if it's nasal prongs, you put NP. If it is reservoir max, you put RM, in that order. Okay, but usually the patient might be in on room A, you just put A here. Is that okay? Good. Now we move on to the blood pressure. Okay, so the blood pressure here is what, 97/65 millimeters of mercury. Good. Now let me let you know that in NEWS2 chart, although BP has to be systolic and diastolic, we only use the systolic to calculate for our new score. So yes, you are going to document both the systolic and diastolic on the blood pressure area. Can you see blood pressure? C. You will document it here, but when you are ready to calculate your total new score, you will only consider the systolic. Please, do you understand? Good. Now, this is the blood pressure column, okay? The blood pressure area. So systolic is what? 97. Now, look at this very carefully. Where is 97? 97 is between 91 and 100, okay? So I am going to put an arrow. I'm going to write 97. And I'll put an arrow here. Can you see? In that same box, I have written 97 and I put an arrow in that same small box. Okay, good. I will explain why I'm doing that later. Then the diastolic is what? 65. So where is 65? 65 will be here. 61 to 70. 65 will be here. So that one I'm going to write 65. And I'll put an arrow up here. Can you see it? So the arrow and the value are all in the same box. Okay? Then after I have done this, I'll just write some dotted line in between the two arrows. Is this clear enough? Please, if you write this 97 in a different box, meanwhile your arrow is within this box, please, you might be penalized. Make sure that the value and the arrow are all within the same box, like I have done it clearly. Learn how to write small and legible. Okay, so you can see clearly 97/65, all within the same box, and then you bring the dotted lines together. Okay, lovely. Now we come to what? The pulse. The pulse. The pulse here is what? 98 beats per minute. So where is 98 within this area? So 98 is between 91 and 100. So I'm going to write 98 within that box. So 98. Lovely. Good. Now, the patient is what? Alert. This part is talking about level of consciousness. Okay, the consciousness, the D, talking about level of consciousness. So, you assess your patient. The patient was alert. Obviously, the patient was not in coma or anything. So the patient is alert, or the patient is not confused. Your patient is alert. So you just write A here to denote alertness. Okay, then the the last one is the temperature. Oh, I forgot to put temperature. So let's assume the temperature is 37.2. Okay, so temperature is 37.2. Where will you put it? 37.2 is between 37.1 and 38.0. So I'll write 37.2 here. Okay, lovely. This is well written, accurately written. Okay, Lovely. Now you finished with it. You are now going to calculate your total news score. So this is what I asked in my previous video there. I gave you some values like this and I asked for the total news score. Okay. But after this video, all of you, I want to see you in that previous video. Answer that question and let me know if you understand it. Okay. Lovely. So the total news score, this is how you get the total news score. Now, can you all see that there are some numbering here along this line? Can you all see it? Okay, good. So, where your value is, just trace it to this area. If it hits any value there, that is what the patient will be newsing off in that parameter. I repeat. For instance, this is the patient's respiration. Respiration is what? 16 cycles per minute. When I trace it to this area, there's nothing here. So it is 0. There's no value here. So it's 0. So it means that there's no problem with the patient's breathing or respiratory pattern. Do you understand it? Good. Let's move on. The patient, what do you call it? So let me just put 0 here so that it's clear for you to understand. So let's assume I traced it. There's nothing here, so it means that it's 0. Good. Now the SpO2 is what? 94. If you trace it, what are you going to hit at? What do you see? 1. Okay, so saturation is giving us 1. Okay, good. Now let's move on. The patient is on air. When you trace it, what does it take you? A blank space, which is also what? 0. Okay, good. Now let's move on. I told you from beginning that for your blood pressure, you only consider the systolic. I know somebody who has gone back because the person used the diastolic to calculate the news score for the blood pressure. And so the total news score was different or was higher than the actual thing. And you will go back. Please take it from me. In your Osce assessment station, in documenting your news score, it is only the systolic blood pressure that counts in your totaling of your news score. Okay? Good. Now, where is 97 traced to? You trace it and it's what? 2. Forget about 65. You don't need it. Because if you use 65, you're going to hit a 3. And it will increase your total news score. That will be wrong. So just 97 is giving us a total news score for the blood pressure as what? 2. Good. Now, heart rate or the pulse is 98. When you trace it, where does it take you? 1. Okay, it's within the 1 box. So 98 is 1. Do we all see it? Good. Now the patient is alert. When you trace it, it's what? Nothing. So 0. Good. Now temperature is what? 37.2. If you trace it, what do you see? 0. Anxiety will make you be tracing the thing and you'll be looking here. Write 2 or 1, please. When it gets to when you are documenting on this paper, take your time. Make sure you get it right. Then when you finish, you can go and rattle the rest for them. Because if your documentation is wrong, you will go back. Good. Now we finish with it. So that now all we are going to do is to put our values together. And that will be our total news score. Okay? Good. So what do we have? We have 0. We have 0 plus 1, which is what? 1. We have plus 0, which is still 1. We have 1 plus what? 2, which is what? 3. Okay? And then we have what? Plus 1, which is what? 4. Plus 0, which is still 4. Plus 0, which is still 4. And it's done. So your patient's total news score is what? 4. Okay? And you see, you wrote your date and time here. So today or on your Thursday, your only work area is this column. Don't go and write your total news score somewhere here because you were calculating from here. You write it somewhere here. Wrong. Make sure it follows the line where you were documenting. So now your total news score, you are going to write it here. That it is what? 4. Okay, finished. Now the next most important part is this area. Okay, people go back because of this area as well. So like I'm saying, this is a red flag area. The new start part of your assessment is a red flag that if you don't get it right, they can easily just make a case out of it. Okay, now I will share a paperwork after this. You on your exam day, they will give you this paper and another paperwork that has the monitoring frequency based on your total new score. I'll share it at the end of this video for you guys to have a look. Okay, so you will see it. So according to that chart, which you will see very soon, if a patient's total new score is 4, you are going to monitor the patient 4 to 6 hourly. Okay, you are going to monitor the patient 4 to 6 hourly, but usually you just pick the 4. So monitoring frequency will be what? 4 HLY. Okay, that's just to say 4 hourly. All right. Are you going to escalate? Escalation of care, yes or no? Y or N? You will escalate a total new score of 4. It is only when, after putting all of this together, the patient's total new score was 0. If it is 0, you are going to write N, which is no. You are not going to escalate for a new score of 0. However, any other value aside 0, your escalation of care will be yes. So you will write what? Y. Okay? You write Y. So because in this case, the total new score is not 0, it's 4. So our escalation of care, yes, we are going to escalate to the doctors about this new score. Okay? And the last bit, don't run away. Your initials, please fill it completely. So my initials will be what? B, C. This is a complete total, what do you call it? News chart after your assessment. I hope this is clear enough and I've taken my time to make you understand. Please, if you do understand, I don't want the video to be extremely long. If you do understand, let me put a temperature here. So the temperature for this patient is 38.2 degrees Celsius. Please, if you understand and you have this sheet, do this scenario and let me see. And as a matter of fact, this scenario is part of the question I posted in my immediate previous video. So it has a blue background. This question was the first question in that video. I've solved it for you. Okay, so go and look at the video again. Move the just scroll. You will see that this question paper will come. Solve it and let me know your total new score in the comment section, and then your escalation plan, whether you escalate or not, in the comment section, and let me know whether you understand. It is only when you respond in this, or you can even respond under this video. Let me know if you understood it. Calculate this under this particular video. Please, if you don't respond, that I wouldn't know whether you understand what I taught or not. Okay, so please respond in the comment section. Let's build a community together, and my hope is that everyone watching this passes their Osce exam and then live your good life. Have a good day. Thank you all. Bye bye.